Let's just repeat the news we broke just a minute or two ago. Reports from Munich in southern Germany say shots have been fired in a shopping centre.
Deadly shooting overnight in Florida outside a nightclub.
What more are we learning about who this individual was?
The driver is reportedly a 31-year-old Tunisian-born French citizen.
Mass shootings and attacks are increasingly dominating global headlines. In the competitive age of rolling breaking news, coverage of unfolding events follow a formula, with news outlets working to report the facts as they come to hand, to tell the stories of eyewitnesses and victims.
All of a sudden we heard pop, 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 pop.
And determine if there's any link to terrorism. In the aftermath, the attention turns to the attacker, who they were, their background, how they carried out the attack, and why.
According to the police, that this young man was obsessed with mass shootings.
But is this wall-to-wall coverage and analysis problematic, giving the assailants the exposure they crave? Munich, Nice, Orlando. Recent events where the attackers' lives, history and motives have come under the spotlight. Global media released their names, photos and details of what is thought to have inspired them to kill. But for some, this kind of coverage goes too far. Instead of serving the public's right to knowledge, it simply gives the attackers the kind of limelight they want, and it encourages copycat attacks. Some argue that attackers' names, photos or manifestos should not be released to the public, to take away any chance for notoriety or infamy.
Top story: Islamic State has claimed responsibility.
France has suffered yet another mass terror attack.
Is the motivation becoming more apparent at this point?
We now know that there was at least a pledge of allegiance.
As news of a fresh attack breaks, one of the first questions is whether it is linked to terrorism. But is framing events in this way dangerous? In the shooting at a mall in Munich last week, British Foreign Minister Boris Johnson immediately blamed the attack on what he called
global sickness
of Islamist terrorism, despite there being no indication that was the shooter's motive. Daesh claimed responsibility for the attack in Nice earlier this month, when a man drove a truck through a crowd celebrating Bastille Day, even though no direct link to the group was found. And media reported that the shooter at a gay nightclub in Orlando last month had pledged allegiance to Daesh during a 911 call. It was later revealed he pledged allegiance to a range of contradictory groups. As the media rushes to break news first and make sense of attacks, does it run the risk of giving terrorists even more of a platform? Regardless of whether they're responsible or not, they still get coverage and get to spread fear. Yvette McCullough, The Newsmakers.